You really should stop playing video games. They rot your brain. Or do they? Okay, almost every mom in the world has said before, stop playing video games, get off the game, they rot your mind, and they're bad for your eyes anyway. But is mom actually really right? Well, we're gonna find out in today's video. Quick disclaimer, this video is not an excuse for you to tell your mom no. I'm not making this video as an excuse for you to say that. Don't do that. If your parent or guardian or your mom or whoever tells you to get off the game, you should listen to them. I'm just making this video to actually look at the science of is video games bad for you or not, and giving it to you. That's all I'm doing. With that out of the way, let's start the video. Alright, so let's start with the actual screen. Usually the first thing that gets brought up is, well, the screen is bad for your eyes. Staring at a screen is bad for your eyes. It's gonna ruin your eyes over time. So let's actually see, is that really true? Obviously, you play video games on a screen, whether it be a TV, an iPhone, a laptop, a monitor, heck, a VR. It's all the screen. You've probably heard someone say that the screens are bad for your eyes. It ruins your eyes. Well, there is a little bit of truth to this. They call it eye strain. The main symptoms of eye strain are headaches and migraines, which then could lead to nausea and light sensitivities and even temporary blindness in some extreme cases. There is three main things that actually cause eye strain when looking at a screen. Number one being the contrast between light and dark. This usually happens when you're typing up or reading some sort of document. So this isn't actually relating generally to video games, I'm just talking about the screens themselves right now. Anyway, the white and black, like I said, if you're reading documents or stuff like that, you're looking at a white background and you're trying to look at these little tiny black letters. This actually causes your eyes to have to focus a lot more than normal. Imagine you're trying to look at an airplane in the sky, but it's flying in front of the sun. It's kind of like that. This is a lot more extreme, but you get the point. If you see the airplane, it's quite small because it's very high up in the air. You're looking at it and you're trying to focus it, but it goes in front of the sun. So you're getting a lot of very bright light in your eyes and trying to focus on a little tiny, black speck that is an airplane. That is a very extreme example of what I'm talking about, but it's the same thing. With this type of eye strain, it technically can happen from just reading a book. You have the white background of the paper, and then you have the black text. The thing is that it's a lot more amplified on a screen because the screen is actually projecting light into your eyes, and the book is just reflecting light into your eyes. But it has happened to me before. Technically, you can get headaches from reading too many books. Now, that's not to say don't read books. Absolutely read books. Just, if you're on a screen and you're reading a document, or if you're reading a book for a very long time, take a little rest, stop staring at it so much, and look at something else for a little bit, and then you can go right back and you should be just fine. The second way that you get eye strain, which is number two, your eyes just start getting a little bit dry. When you're staring at a screen for a long time, your blink rate, or your BR, starts to slowly go down. If you've ever had a staring contest before, which is where two people are staring into each other's eyes and the first one to blink loses. As you know, a staring contest gets very hard because your eyes start to burn pretty bad. This is because your eyes start to get dry. So if you've ever been in a staring contest, which I assume that you have, your eyes usually start watering a lot, almost like you're crying. This is because your eyes are trying to hydrate and lubricate your eyes because they've been open and starting to get dry for such a long time that your tear ducts try to produce these tears to try to make you not have this burning eyes and they're not so dry. But as you know, the burning doesn't really go away because you're not blinking. Blinking is the process that actually spreads around all of that tears inside of your eyes to actually hydrate and lubricate. I'm getting a little bit off track here, but the point is, blinking is what's actually hydrating and lubricating your eyes. I mean, your tear ducts are producing the liquid, but your blinking is actually spreading it around properly. When you're staring at a screen, your blink rate slowly starts to go down, and that's why your eyes don't burn. The reason your eyes burn in a staring contest is because you're going from blinking a lot to not blinking at all. Now, when you're staring at a screen, on the other hand, your blink rate slowly goes down. So you go from blinking a lot to blinking a little bit less, to blinking a little bit less, and a little bit less, and a little bit less, until you're almost not blinking. You're blinking, once every, 20 or 30 seconds, which starts to make your eyes a little bit dry. And number three, the most common thing that people refer to when they're talking about screens hurting your eyes is blue light. News articles say that blue light can cause damage to retinal cells, macular degeneration, cataracts, blurriness in vision, and the most extreme one, eye cancer. But new information that's come out has revealed that the blue light, all these things that they have to say about it in the news articles are blown way out of proportion. Scientists at the American Academy of Ophthalmology have to say this, and this is a quote: "There is no scientific evidence that blue light from digital devices cause damage to your eye. The discomfort some people have after looking at screens is most likely digital eye strain." Basically, the blue light from a screen is nowhere near enough to actually cause all this damage that they say. Yes, blue light can cause damage to your eyes, but blue light has to be very extreme to actually cause damage, which is actually the sun. The sun has way more blue light emitting from it than any screen has at all, so make sure that you wear sunglasses. But they do go on to say that blue light can disrupt something called your circadian rhythm, which is basically your body's natural wake up and go to sleep kind of feeling. Blue light is from a screen not really going to affect you at all. Really, the worst that's going to happen is, like I said, you kind of just get a headache a little bit, maybe a migraine, but that is very extreme cases, as if you're like, you know, staring at a screen literally all day, every single day. That can happen, but blue light, I mean, the screens really aren't that bad for your eyes at all. If blue light does affect you, which me, sometimes it can, if you're, you know, I kind of do YouTube as a job, so I'm staring at a screen quite a bit, so you could just get blue light glasses, which is what I got right here. Blue light glasses basically have a yellowish lens. Blue light is very harsh light, and yellow light is very soft light. So the yellow lens kind of cancel out the blue light coming into your eyes, makes it just a little bit softer and less likely to actually cause, you know, any sort of strain or headaches or anything like that. So if blue light does affect you, you can get a pair of these glasses. If it persists too bad, you can call a doctor and see what's going on, but generally for the average person, blue light and just screens in general really aren't that bad for your eyes. Well, if screens aren't the problem, then the next thing they try to say is that video games isolate you from human contact and makes your communication skills go down, and the video games just overall numb your brain and make you dumber. Well, there's also scientific evidence that says none of that's true either. Video games a lot of times don't actually even isolate you from human contact. Physical human contact, maybe, but you can still talk to people. You can still talk to people like your friends while you're playing video games. But with that being said, there is partial truth to the isolation thing. If someone is very addicted to video games to the point where they're locking themselves in a bedroom just all day, every day playing video games, that's all they want to do, then yes, they are isolating themselves, but this is not the majority at all. This is actually a very extreme case. It's estimated that only 1.7% of American gamers are the isolated, lock yourself in a bedroom type. This whole idea that video games isolate you from human contact, yeah, that happens, but it's not the majority at all. And a lot of the times, if someone is isolating themselves in their bedroom just playing video games, a lot of times it's not even the video games themselves. Usually these people are just shy, maybe a little bit socially awkward, you know, maybe they had a bad experience earlier in life that caused them to just kind of be scared or shy or nervous to just talk to people, so video games are kind of their escape. And what I would have to say to these people, if you are one of these people, is just face your fears, guys. It's really not that scary. I was kind of one of these people where I had a hard time making friends, but once you just kind of get out there and try it, it's really not that scary. Communication skills can possibly be impacted by video games to an extent, and that's why it's important to get off the game sometimes. Go outside, hang out with real people, hang out with your friends, throw a football, do something, just don't be on the video games all the time. Like I said, if you're one of these people that just plays video games constantly and is kind of nervous and shy and doesn't know how to make friends, just walk up and talk to people. If you see a group of people, you know, a couple guys hanging out, throwing a football, you know, just hanging out, just go up and talk to them, say something, make some conversation, and a lot of times it'll be just fine. That's how I've made literally every single one of my friends. I just kind of go up to them and now we're friends. You just kind of start hanging out eventually and it's just like, okay, we're friends now. Now, getting away from the actual communication part of this, sometimes video games are just associated with just not being intelligent, and I think this is a very incorrect assumption. It's actually been found by the people at Common Sense Media that, quote, games like Minecraft that allow for exploration and creativity can be good for learning. They stimulate critical thinking, problem solving, and system thinking, which is learning how things work together. Minecraft's focus on building can reinforce geometry concepts as it strengthens players' logic skills, creativity, and even collaboration. And even games like Fortnite and Call of Duty that aren't entirely designed to be educational can still work not just your intelligence, but your actual physical motor skills. This is quoted from the National Institute of Health. In particular, first-person shooter games such as Halo, Call of Duty, and the Battlefield series, and third-person games such as Gears of War, Grand Theft Auto series, is associated with improvements in a wide range of perceptual, visuospatial, perceptual motor, and attention skills. Basically, to answer the main question of today's video, are video games bad for you? No, not at all. Actually, in a lot of cases, they're actually more beneficial than non-beneficial. In this video, we found from numerous studies that the screens themselves aren't really going to hurt you that bad. Blue light's not going to give you eye cancer. Like I said, the worst thing that's going to happen is you probably get a headache, and that's about it. We've also found that video games are not necessarily indicative of social anxiety or social awkwardness. And the biggest one, do video games actually make you dumber? No, not at all. Actually, in a lot of cases, video games are actually making you smarter instead of dumber. Like I said, the studies that we've looked at today literally actually say quite the opposite of video games making you dumber. If you play creative and educational games, they work your brain, and if you play action-based, fast-paced games, they actually work your physical motor skills and your fast, quick-thinking abilities. Video games, in plenty of cases, are a lot more beneficial than they are harmful. So, if you guys play video games, maybe get off of them once in a while so you don't end up turning into a hermit and being one of those people that locks yourself in a bedroom. But video games themselves are not bad for you at all. Anyways, that's about it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, tell me in the comments down below. Like this video, subscribe, and if you have any other questions for me, also leave those in the comments down below as well. But with that, that's about it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.